Hi, this is Cher Calvin, and you're listening to This Filipino American Life.
My secret, just do something that ain't nobody ever done before, but make it sound like something that's always been there forever.
This Filipino American Life is a podcast that explores the nuanced experiences of Filipinos in the United States at iba pa. My name is Elaine Delalas, and I'm joined by my fellow hosts,
Ryan Carpio,
Joe Bernardo,
and
Mike.
Producer Mike. Yeah. And this is a mini episode that we're calling Questions with Producer Mike.
Yeah. Wait, what? Questions with Producer Mike.
And the TFAL of the episode is Rexy Josh Dorado.
Oh.
Rexy.
Rexy.
Are you sexy?
He's one of the co-founders of Kumu,
Oh, yes, Rexy. That's right.
the Kumu app.
So it's finally someone we know.
Oh, we know. That's good.
Do you know them, Ryan?
Oh, yeah. We met on Kumu.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See? For real this time, guys.
Sexy
For
Rexy.
real.
Is that really what he goes by? I just assume if your name is Rex and you go by Rexy, sexy will come somewhere in between.
Yeah.
And I believe we have a voicemail, right?
Yes.
Voicemail.
A voicemail.
That's my new thing now. Voicemail. No? Okay.
I like it. You should do it.
That's like a Muppet voice, dude.
That's why I like it.
All right. Here's the voicemail.
Magandang umaga! I really enjoyed your guys' wedding episode and your Crazy Rich Asians episode. My question is, do you have any insight about the debut of a Filipino American versus Filipinos? So once again, this is Chris G in San Jose. Love your guys' show. Keep it real. Bye.
Thank you, Chris.
You talking about the movie?
I think you need to call again because your question wasn't. Need to clarify your question. Are you talking about the differences between debuts of Filipinos versus Filipino Americans?
Probably, right?
Or are you talking about the movie debut, or just talking about the differences or tensions between Filipinos and Filipino Americans? So,
Wow.
I'm not sure.
You got the third one out of that one? I thought it was just about the party.
Maybe. I don't know. But maybe you could call us again and clarify.
Yeah.
Cool. So what are we talking about, Elaine?
Today on this episode, we have questions with Mike. Mike. 'Cause
That's
I
good,
was-
right? I did a little echo thing there. Wait, we're going to get to ask Mike questions? Look how uncomfortable he looks. Well, you guys can't see it, but Mike just like shifted in his chair a little bit.
Yeah.
So we're going to play Getting to Know You, getting to know all about you.
Getting to know you.
Getting to know. By asking Mike questions.
Yeah, because I think, we talk a lot on the podcast, but I think a lot of T-Pals want to know more about Producer Mike.
I know.
Are you sure about that?
I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure about it.
Who is behind the sexy voice?
Oh, God. Not even. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Behind that mic. Mike.
Right. So we have a sweet 16 list of questions for you
Yeah. We couldn't think of two more.
to
So
make it a debut. So
you're going to celebrate your Sweet 16 instead.
yes.
Great.
All right. So who'd like to go first?
I'll start.
All right.
What's your most memorable childhood moment?
Oh, my God.
You thought
First thing that comes to mind. First
softball?
thing.
Wow,
First
way to softball that in. It would have to be... I think it was the first time I went to a Japanese grocery store in Los Angeles because I was really into anime as a kid, and the only way we could watch it is if we could get like bootlegs of things like Fist of the North Star, Dragon Ball, other things I probably won't mention.
The Boomba ones?
And I was always like, I want to like get all like these toys and robots and other stuff. And so we went to what was then at the time called Yaohan Plaza in Little Tokyo, in downtown LA. And so went there and it was like this wonderland of things. And it was just like, I mean, I grew up in Oxnard, and so like, you know, appreciable number of Filipinos, you know, a lot of Japanese Americans, etc., but like not a lot of like Asian American things. You know, it was like maybe like 2 Asian mini marts, and that was about it. So when I came to Los Angeles to try to find like cool Japanese stuff, and found out there was a whole mall of it at the time, which still kind of exists but doesn't have all the cool stuff anymore. It was just like this moment of realizing like, oh my God, like, you know, there's like Asian American stuff out there, you know, or like, you know, I can just go to like this place and find stuff that like I identify, even though I've never been to like Asia other than the Philippines the one time when I was 3. So yeah, and ever since then, like Little Tokyo has been a part of my life, part of like this person's Filipino American life.
Wow.
As Elaine will tell you, like, you know, we spend almost every other day there now. So,
Yes.
It's one of my favorite neighborhoods too.
yeah.
All right. Question 2.
All right.
It's me.
It's Elaine.
What is your favorite part of growing up in Oxnard?
I would say just having a lot of people who I basically considered family there. I mean, so I mean,
Like your family?
no, so, other than my actual family. I mean, it was always interesting to me to hear about your guys' experiences with like having cousins and uncles and aunties and stuff all around you. I think I felt like I didn't really have any blood relatives other than my immediate family with me until like way later in life. Like my mom's siblings moved to Oxnard and joined us. But for the most part, I grew up with people who I considered just uncles and aunties and cousins who were in no shape, way, or form related from the same province, town, anything. And so when I came to like college and started meeting like, you know, when I met Elaine and other people like who had like, oh, this is my actual cousin. It's like, I didn't know what that's like. But I mean, like it was such that because it's a military town that, I mean, I think Filipinos just kind of naturally came together, you know, formed organizations, associations. We had like special events celebrating kind of like being a Filipino and graduating from high school, being Filipino and being part of this community. And there's like a history even of like Filipinos in Ventura County, really. Yeah. But the fact that we were able to form familial bonds and like a community with people who under any other circumstances I probably would not consider family, I always felt like was like really unique to like my Filipino American experience.
Nice.
If you were voted as most something or most likely to be something in high school, what would it be or what was it?
You mean like
you know,
the yearbook, you know,
best,
yearbook thing.
like yearbook thing, like
A superlative.
best
superlative.
eyes.
Oh
Or,
yeah,
like,
none
most
of
likely
those things. I think it would be like most likely to like build like the most amazing robot or computer or AI or something.
Nice.
Because I mean, I did go into college as a electrical engineering major, which obviously didn't work out. But that's what I was known for. I was like just, you know, creating things, inventing things, like fixing things, destroying things. I mean, even to this day, I mean, like I always have like this kind of relationship with certain folks where it's just like, oh, I call Michael for that thing. Like I have this thing is broken. Yeah, I bet he knows how to fix it. But like magnify that times like 1,000,000, and that's how like I think people perceive me in Oxnard. It's like, oh, he's a smart guy, even though I didn't get the best grades. But whatever, grades don't matter. Who cares?
It doesn't really. All right. What advice would you give to 17-year-old Mike?
Wow. To not worry too much about where you're going to end up in life. Because I would say that everything that I thought I was going to do with myself and thought I was getting ready to do. I mean, the other thing I was really interested in was journalism. And I was like writing for the school paper at the time. Thought I was going to go to like journalism school and ended up at Irvine instead, which had nothing close to that, I guess, unless I took like, I don't know, humanities or something. I don't know. But I had all these kind of like conceptions of like, I'm just going to be like this like famous, wealthy computer scientist guy. None of which came true. But that's fine. And I think because I agonized it over for a couple of years, like when I got into college and I got kicked out of every school I was in college, until I landed in Asian American Studies. But that's fine. You know, who cares about grades and parents being proud of your career choices? Who cares? It doesn't matter, who cares? Like, whatever.
What are your musical influences?
Oh God. So, I don't want to say this out loud almost, but I was going to say the Eagles.
I love the Eagles.
Which is terrible, right? Because
Hotel California.
fucking hate the Eagles.
I love them.
But I mean, so yeah, because I grew up in like a military town around a lot of like uncles who like to sit around drinking all the time.
And that's their songbook.
What invariably happened was either like the karaoke, whatever, the -1 or whatever machine at the time would pop up and people would just start singing like, Best of My Love or like other songs like that, right? Or sometimes in certain parties, like they would bust out with the guitars and just start playing like Eagle songs and singing like while drinking their San Miguel's and stuff like that.
Old school karaoke.
And my parents just listened to a lot of like classic rock in the car. So, they got me into like Fleetwood Mac and other things like that too. But yeah, like I grew up on rock before I grew up really on hip hop. I didn't really get to hip hop until I was like in high school. So before that, it was like from my parents' classic rock to a lot of alternative and grunge at the time. Which is why like when I DJ now, like I always have to kind of just slip in. I mean, I'll play some hip hop, but I mean, it will be mostly like indie rock, classic music, classic rock. I don't know what that says about me, if that makes my experience any different from anyone else, but like I think that was just seemed natural to like just like almost everything except for like contemporary country that sucks.
What do you most love about either Filipino American community or about being Filipino American?
It's weird because I didn't think about it till I think maybe even well after college, right? I think I was in this moment, and I mean, Elaine could attest to this, is like when I was in college, I went to UC Irvine, a lot of Filipinos there, big Filipino organization there is Kababayan. I thought they were weirdos. They sucked. I thought Filipinos were kind of lame and basic. And it wasn't until after I tried to go to law school and that didn't work out. And then I tried to find a job in LA and I worked at this place called Search and Involve Filipino Americans. That I had to kind of hunker down and think about like, well, what is Filipino community to me? And I guess the fact of the matter is that like, I don't think you could even really define it. Like, I think we talk about Filipino American culture a lot on this show. But if you really think about it, it's so different. That's why maybe we have so many things to talk about on the show, is that it's just so different in so many different places that we'll never really fully understand it, even as Filipino Americans. And so I feel like I'm always learning something new about ourselves all the time. And in a way that we're also kind of adding to the culture in our own kind of special ways. And so I think I appreciate the fact that I don't think I'll ever fully understand our culture, and that's perfectly fine. I think that's what's probably the most awesome about us.
What inspired you to work in the Filipino community?
You mean other than like trying to find a job and there's no job to find? I think it's because there was a certain comfort in it, but also because so when I was in college and I started to take like Asian American Studies classes and I ended up getting my degree in it, we watched this documentary called The Fall of the I Hotel. And it was probably like just watching that one documentary that made me realize like, oh wait, there's no like linear progression of like Filipino Americans or Filipinos come to the United States, kind of find jobs, find success, get careers. And that's just to me, that was just the Filipino American story. It's just like, we're just Filipino and we happen to be like good at certain things maybe. But that there was this whole history that I'd never been like shared with me because my parents weren't aware of it. They came in like the mid to late 70s. And they had no interest or engagement with what was the Filipino American history before them, and recognizing that existed and that wasn't what I would call like a pleasant experience, I think, for a lot of Filipino Americans, made me realize that there were stories that were untold, even to someone like me who felt like I kind of understood who I was and my place in this community. So I think it was just this idea that I could kind of continue to learn about what it means to be a part of the community, and uncovering kind of a lot of that history that I'll probably not know everything, but I mean, every time I find something new, it's just like, oh, did you know that we did this? Or did you know that we struggled through that? Or that we were part of this movement or blah, blah, blah. I mean, I got into like the Filipino veterans movement, like almost like right away also. Just because it was just like, well, my dad was a veteran. He seemed fine. My grandparents were veterans and they seemed okay, but I didn't know that like other people's like grandparents will never get recognition, benefits, and all those other things. So it's like, you know, just seeing my grandparents and them, you know, all these things. It was just like drawing it back to like my family, I think, if anything. So
nice. By the way, I added 2 more questions, so we're at 18.
All right, it's
Oh
Mike's
my God.
debut.
Mike's debut.
What was your favorite part of the Philippines?
I haven't been back there in like a while. It's been like 13 years now. I just think realizing that there's a whole experience there that I'm still just starting to understand. I mean, even like as like Filipino culture and Filipino media kind of makes its way to like these shores, and experiencing that, not having the context for that, you know, makes you feel kind of like disconnected from it, right? Like I listened to Eraserheads in college. I watched a couple of like Filipino movies here and there because my parents would rent it all the time. But it wasn't until like going there and kind of like experiencing it and feeling it, that I started to kind of get like the smallest bit of just understanding of like, oh, this is why there's so many like dramatic Filipino movies, or this is why there's so many like ballads and like love songs, because it's like there's kind of like this kind of like mix of like pain and longing, but also like hope, that you kind of just feel when you're there, because you see kind of like the deepness of the poverty that's there, but like the willingness of folks to kind of try to like push through it and try to like make a better day for like their families. And I know that's oversimplifying and maybe like painting kind of like this like optimistic picture of Filipinos, but it's just like to be in a place where there's like everyone is like your color, you know, your culture, even though it's very different for each person. It just felt like a mix of like both sadness and comfort. So my favorite part of the Philippines is just like being there and knowing that this is why my family is the way that it is, and this is also like, you know, why my culture is the way it is, for all the good and the bad of it. So
A deeper question for you. Who is your go-to character from Mario Kart?
oh God, for the longest time it was Toad.
Really?
Yes.
So I mean, like, you know, when you play these games, like there's always like the character that's like really fast out the gate, but then doesn't have a high top speed. Because I'm a terrible like driver in these kind of racing games. I'm always like crashing into things. At least if I get knocked over, I can like hit the gas really fast and like catch up. Also because like no one ever takes Toad seriously.
Yours is Yoshi.
Yoshi is like my second place.
That's cool. I'll take that.
Yoshi's a little more well-rounded.
So,
you know.
so Toad is a reflection of you?
Oh God! Quick in the moment, and then like I just run out of gas right away.
Told you it was deep.
So you ran out of gas, huh? All right. What is your favorite flavor of ice cream?
Oh, it'll always be coffee. So in fact, my barometer for a good ice cream place is if they have a good coffee flavor. If I walk in and they don't have a coffee flavor, already I'm kind of like, oh, this place might be terrible.
This place is garbage, no coffee kind of.
But if they have a coffee flavor, I'll always go for that first. And if it's really good, then I'll get it every single time. Wow. So, you know, if they have it.
Oh man.
Do you have a favorite like kind of
non-coffee flavor?
No. Like there's different kinds of coffee ice cream. So like
Just straight coffee, not espresso, not like
Kona mocha coffee.
The deeper flavors, you know, a little stronger flavor.
Yeah.
You know, my favorite ice cream for the longest time was just literally like coffee ice cream at Cold Stone with like Heath bars and graham cracker. Every time. Go to the Cold Stone in Eagle Rock, go to the Cold Stone and you know,
like it size.
like it size.
Gotta have it.
That's too much ice cream.
Oh man, I have a
your
funny
story?
story for you. I should not put it on. It's just a funny one. I had I'll say it, but I went to Hawaii, and I had a crush that I hadn't hung out with in a really long time. I had a huge crush on her, and so we decided we were gonna go and get ice cream. and she was in Hawaii too, and she made fun of me because we went to Cold Stone, and you put all these damn toppings in there. I'm like,
Gotta
coffee?
have it.
Just coffee, please. She looks at me and she's like, coffee? I'm totally judging you right now. I'm like, what? This coffee's the best. So it was just one of those moments. I'm like, I don't know if coffee's ever, made me feel bad, but maybe I should have added something to it. I'm like, put some espresso chips in there.
Put some Heath bars and graham crackers.
Anyway, we can edit that out.
No, let's keep that in. If money wasn't a factor, what would you do with your life?
I feel like I've told this story already.
Have you?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Well, we may have said it like just together, but not on the radio, on the podcast.
For radio.
Wait, if I wait,
Like if you won the lottery, what would you do with your life?
I'd buy a building in historic Filipino town, preferably 3 or 4 stories. Ground floor would be a record store / bookstore / cafe. Second floor would probably be some kind of like event space. Third floor would be our offices for the nonprofit. We would probably be operating a foundation, historic Filipino town foundation, and the 4th floor we would live in. So
Damn, Mike doesn't have to go anywhere.
I'm pretty sure yeah.
And it's called the Mike Nailat building.
What's your carbon footprint? 4 flights there.
There has to be a gym somewhere in this building because
The 4 flights of stairs.
No, an actual
And
gym.
of course we'd have like a patio on the roof for like special things and stuff.
Nice.
So, and it'd have to be in historic Filipino town. I don't know if this building exists anymore. I think I had a building in mind that now has been converted into condos, so never mind. But
Boo.
Okay, so this is from Inside Actor Studio. So you get to the pearly gates of heaven. What would be the first word or the first thing that God would say to you?
Probably a shrug and a really?
Really?
Like, really? That's what you did with your life? I don't know.
Okay.
Or maybe like a try again, hopefully.
But you're already there.
It's like,
Yeah,
I
you
think
made
you should
it.
try that again. I don't think
made
you
it.
really tried.
So is he going to send you back? Is that what
I mean,
you're
that's my
saying?
hope,
Oh.
right?
Or she.
She,
Yeah.
goddess, yes. They, what I can say
They.
back.
All right. What is your ideal date?
God, really?
And, hey, that's what you answered earlier.
I mean, there's
So, what?
October 14th.
So what you're gonna do after this is basically, is your date your ideal date? Get burgers.
And have ice cream.
I mean, it's got to involve like ice cream, probably French fries at some point.
That's a cute one.
It has to involve being on the coast because I'm from a beach town. So,
That's not happening after tonight.
So Suncoast.
That's about it. I mean, I don't know if we've told this story, but like, I think the first time I really hung out with Elaine,
Oh my God.
we went to like, I think the Super K in like Laguna.
The Laguna
Hills?
Beach.
Yeah.
There's a Super K that was open 24 hours.
You mean like Kmart?
Yeah, Super
okay.
K.
Super-
Okay.
Yeah,
That's
so
just
it's
a
like,
Kmart joke.
when they're trying to compete with like Walmart, I guess. And there's like, everyone in, at least in our generation of UC Irvine folks knows there's this beach that's kind of like, it's a public beach, but it's kind of secluded. And you got to know how to get to it. And there's like this secret stairway you got to use to get to it. And you go down the stairs and it's like this, yeah.
So we parked in this street in the middle of like, it's like 12 o'clock. It's super late. And we walked down in this like dark staircase to the beach. And it's nighttime and you see the beach.
Moonlit.
And it's moonlit.
So you did what they did in Moonlight?
Oh.
Oh, I know. That would have been creepy. But no, that's not what we did.
We just hung out.
We just hung out on the beach.
You didn't get my joke.
No, no, I did. I do know what you're talking about. I watched that movie and no, that did not happen, Joe. No,
I'm
Ryan has not seen
I've
movie.
not seen the movie.
Oh my god, that's like that's such a good movie.
Yeah,
But anyways, yeah, we
But
did that.
we
So what
went
do you guys do?
we went to the beach and we did. Mike didn't bring a blanket or a towel, so we were just like literally sitting in the sand. And then Mike's like, let's lie down and look at the stars. So I'm like, okay. So I lied down, looked at the stars, and I'm like, okay, I'm cold. And then we like left, and then we went home. And then I told my friends the next day, did I go on a date? Was that a date?
Well, Mike, did you?
I mean, I don't know. I was just like,
You don't know.
hang out with like my new friend Elaine. So,
But was that
yeah.
like kind of like your vision of like, hanging out on the beach,
Pretty much, I guess.
All right.
I mean, there's no ice cream involved, I guess.
There was no ice cream, but we did go to Super Kmart. And that's all that
Yeah.
matters.
I think we bought some 5-star notebooks.
We did probably.
But
Yeah.
then,
Put some
you know,
poetry in.
at the end of the day, there was a happy ending. So
Not that day.
Moonlight reference. Watch that movie, folks. It's a great movie. Mike, what is your favorite vegetable?
Potato chips.
Potato is not
French
a vegetable.
fries.
No.
Um,
I was gonna say coffee ice cream.
if it was okay, if you're talking like green vegetables, obviously like broccoli slathered in butter.
And cheese.
with a prime rib.
Or even better if you get like seared so it's crunchy and you put like in like a kind of soy kind of like. Yeah.
Okay, so that's the only way
That's
Mike
about
would
as
eat
close as it
vegetables
gets. Or a nice salad like drenched in ranch, you know.
with bacon.
Do you like cream spinach?
Ugh.
No. Never mind.
What?
No.
Try Ryan's.
Nope.
Good.
Nope.
Oh, what? Okay. If you had to own a business, what would it be? Monkey? sorry. I'm sorry. Mike. If you had to own a business, what kind of business would
And money is an object in terms of
Yeah.
you can't just win the lottery.
Oh.
Yeah.
can't just be monkey
Damn.
all the time.
So I was gonna say a record store, but we all know those don't make money. So, well, probably still a record store. Yeah, I'll just say record store and just deal with the fact that I'll be like broke forever. Live my like high fidelity lifestyle.
So you can be like Jack Black and just like be like super elitist about what people choose in
Yes.
music.
Oh, totally. You don't buy that. Like really?
Do you even know your daughter?
I mean, I'll say I would stock it like with a lot of like OPM and like
Nice.
Filipino music. You know, just in general.
And you'll have a very special New Jack Swing section just for me.
Joe's Corner.
What's your favorite electronic gadget ever invented?
Oh wow. Ooh. There's so many.
Your favorite.
Favorite. Digital camera. Because I've had like 8 or 9 cameras now at this point. Like the first one was like back in like 2000. Like the
Yeah.
Sony camera that I got was like a 2 megapixel camera, which was like
Right
you know,
back then, it was like, oh my god,
And you weighed
my
like 10
God.
pounds.
you know. And I've been like notorious for just like taking pictures of everything everywhere all the time. And I even did that in grade school with this like a film camera, but you know, like it's expensive, right? And those had like rolls and rolls of film to develop all the time. And so when they got digital cameras, like I was just digging through my archives of photos like the other day, and it was like a couple 100,000 pictures for the last like 18 years.
100,000?
Yeah, something like that.
Wow.
Mike is the Florante Banyas of our generation.
I mean, actually, I had this thought that at one point that I should do like a gallery showing of like, you know, the Filipino American experience in Los Angeles from 2000 to like 2015 or something
just
like
the
that.
volume.
I think we really could.
That'd be cool.
It would be very specific slides of the Filipino American experience involving like all the activist organizations and everything else that I kind of just
I
did.
feel like this is an art exhibit that
you know,
we
Tuesday
really
Night
could do.
Cafe, etc. You know,
Nice.
Yeah, I bet VC would sponsor it if we pitched it to them.
is this a pitch right now?
I don't know.
Probably is.
Why do I have this question? Okay,
Because you have it.
Okay, I have it. What do you love most about Elaine?
Oh my god, so many things.
Flatulence.
Toot.
Wait, what did
Is this a real question?
What did Kavanaugh call it?
Boofing.
Boofing.
Boofing. Yeah, boof.
Oh god,
Yes, this is the question.
way topical, Joe.
Sorry.
This is the question that I read.
Jesus Christ. That we can disagree on a lot of things, but it's fine. Okay, so like literally like I had no concept of like when I first met Elaine, like what she was into, listened to, watched, you know, whatever. And I think like it's like, oh, you listen to emo? Okay, I guess we'll listen to emo together. You know, oh, you like these black and white movies, like classic films, like ugh, you know, like this is like 2001, like we should watch color things. Like you know, or like really like gritty like 70s films and like, you know, like The Godfather over and over and over again.
It's the best.
Which she's
I mean,
not a fan
I watched
of.
it, but I don't.
So we have like a lot of like pop culture things that do not intersect at all.
No.
And usually that's like I don't want to talk to you kind of thing for most people. But for whatever reason, like Elaine is okay with it. And I'm okay with Elaine. So there you go.
Yay. And there's a happy ending at the end.
Watch Moonlight, everybody.
All right, Mike, last question. Where do you see yourself in 10 years?
Oh, God. Is this a trick question?
No.
Running my record store in a 4-story building in Storm Town. Elaine running the foundation. I don't know. I mean, hopefully still doing this, you know?
Right on.
Making like this podcast or whatever iteration of that is in since 10 years, like
Holograms.
VR hologram like podcast. Literally sitting in your living rooms is like we chat about like what I like about
That'd be
Elaine.
hilarious. You put on a headset and then you're right here.
We can make this happen. We can actually make it happen today.
virtual reality. You can touch Mike's beard right now.
No.
Put their hand right through it. Like,
Happy ending.
Yeah.
Watch Moonlight, everybody. Watch Moonlight.
And I think those are all our questions.
Yeah.
So there you go, Mike. An easy debut number 18 question.
Yay.
So hopefully all you listeners out there learned a little bit more about our producer Mike.
If you're still listening.
You're still listening, I guarantee it.
Yes. And we'll have just as many interesting questions for all of you at some point.
I think this is the
Maybe. I
last
don't
time
know.
we're gonna do this.
First and last time.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I don't know. We'll see. I think it
Everybody has to have a debut. I think the next person we do this is Girly.
Boo. Mrs. Third Ring.
Thanks for listening, everybody. This Filipino American Life is produced by Michael Nailat. Our intro and outro music is by Roger Habon, aka 10.4 Raj. Resident reality checker Girly Colado, legal advisor Rianne Fajardo, and graphic design by Vincent Collyer.